I was born on the 4th of July 1924 at Ulverston. My mother was pregnant with me, went up to stay with her mother, and I was a bit early and I popped out on July the 4th, but actually we lived in Burnie, and I grew up in Burnie, which is a seaport, and we had a lot of big ships come in, the Orion and the Orchides and all the big ships, but also every year or two a warship would come in, and we went all over that as kids, and it was wonderful going on board and the smell of the ship, and you go down the galley, or they'd make cake for all the kids, and I thought, oh, I loved the uniform and everything seemed to be just right. And I thought, oh gee, if I can join the Navy when I get bigger, it'll be the Navy, not the Army or Air Force. And I went through state school and high school. I did. When I was 12, I worked on a milk cart in Burnie, and it would start at 7 in the morning. I'd join this milk cart, deliver milk for 2 hours all around Burnie with the horse and cart, and the milkman, I was his off-sider. We had 2 big milk cans and a billy can, and we'd fill these up and go into different places. And they'd have jugs out or a saucepan, and we'd pour the milk into this. And in Burnie, there was no such thing as ice works. No one had a refrigerator, so they'd always boil up the milk and scald it and have scalded cream, and that would last for quite a while. But we had 2 deliveries, so I'd start out at 7 in the morning till 9, then I'd go to school, and 4 o'clock I'd join the milk cart till 6 o'clock. And we had a horse, and the milkman used to control it. But Burnie was a seaport as well as a railway centre for all the metals that came out of Zen, silver, lead ore and stuff like that. So there'd be a lot of traffic on, and potatoes. They had a big potato market, sending potatoes by ship to Sydney. So the trains were steam trains, and they were always shunting around and when the horse was so frightened of these steam monsters, when it would get near there, it'd jump up on its hind legs and race off like a Melbourne Cup winner, and we'd go careering down, and I used to sit in a little place in the corner, and I was sure I'd die. And so I thought my mother would come up and see me lying there, so I smiled. I always had a smile on my face in the most dire circumstances, in case I died and Mum would say, oh look, what a peaceful death he had. That was a bit funny. But from there, I used to wag it from school for a few weeks. I stayed away for a couple of days, and then I was too frightened to go back, and I stayed away for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then I tried to get back, but I was too frightened to tell my mother, and all the kids. I sort of drifted apart. They were learning things, and I was a bit on the outer, and I didn't know what to do. But I used to go fishing down the wharves, and I'd be underneath so no one would see me, and there's little catwalks right along underneath, and I was catching fish, beautiful fish, and I'd have to throw them back. I couldn't take them home. And we had a town clock in Burnie, used to go boing on the hour. None of this, not like Lon system, which had ding dong, the Westminster, but this one was just a bang, bang. And I counted up, this particular time, I counted up to 12 and raced home along the beach to home. We were within a stone's throw of the beach, and came in and sat down and waited for my meal. And my mother, I remember she looked at me, didn't say a word. She went to the passageway, got an overcoat and put it on, said, come on. and I realised, looked at the clock, and it was 11 o'clock. I'd misjudged the bloody time. And she took me up to the headmaster, and I think I got 6 cuts on each hand with a cane. Oh, I was so pleased. I didn't feel it. I was back in circulation. So then I had to hurriedly sort of swat up and catch up with all the others. So, but it was really quite I liked working on the milk cart, and 7 days a week, and I got 7 and sixpence a week. That's 75 cents. That didn't seem much, but if you work it out, 7 and 6 a week, worked out a pasty or pie was threepence. That's so you get 30 pies. So that shows you the amount in reference to the amount of money I got. So that was a help from my mother, who was doing things pretty hard, and she was a music teacher to keep my sister and myself going. She did play the church organ, and for about 40 years. But when my father was in hospital due to war injury or war service, and he stayed there, it seemed to be months, but I don't know whether it was weeks. And I used to pray. I had a little bedroom out the back, and I could see the moon, and I was taught that that's where God was up, heaven was up top, and I could cope with where the hell was, because lava and all the thing was pretty hot. But this, I thought, well, it must be the moon, because that's the only thing I could see up in the sky. So I prayed to a guy in the sky to make my father well and come back and look after us. And a few weeks later, someone said, your father's dead, and he's gone to heaven. And I thought about this, oh gee, I was broken hearted. I'd prayed so diligently and carefully. And then I started to think about, I used to go rabbit trapping, and I had a rifle too at a very early age, a little hut sport, 22 rifle. I go around shooting rabbits and bring them home, and that was it, augmented our income. And while I was out there, you'd see dogs, dead dogs, and cats and birds and things. And you see them rotting on the ground with maggots and things. And that was the natural thing of things that are dead, they rot. And I thought, my father, well, he's dead, well, he'll rot like everyone else in the box. Now, then I thought, but wait on, he's supposed to go to heaven, and he meets people up there without any eyes, and it didn't seem to work. And I tried to reconcile it, and I couldn't. And so, at one stage I said, if there is a God, strike me dead. And actually I put my head under the covers for some reason or another. Nothing happened. And from then on, I was an atheist. I could see that the whole system to me was a blanketing belief system that people believed in without sort of thinking about it. And I've been an atheist ever since. But when I joined up, they said, what religion are you? Down Hobart. And I said, I have no religion. You got to have a religion, the quartermaster, big burly bloke said. I said, no, I've got no religion. Oh, well, Church of England. He had to put something in the slot. He couldn't put atheist. Probably didn't know what atheist was. I didn't know what it was. All I did was I didn't have a belief. So I went through the war with the Church of England, I think, on my sheet. When I was 16, I told my mother I was joining the Navy, and she said, well, you can't, because your father went to war and I don't want you to go to war. And I said, well, if I don't do that, I'll run away and join the army. So I eventually talked her into it. I did all my medical and everything else when I was 16, and as soon as I was 17 on July the 4th, 1941, the war had been going a couple of years, and I used to hope that the war would keep going so that I could join up, because around Burnie, the returned soldiers' badges were people who were just a little bit better than others who hadn't been to war. So that was for me.